Hello, everybody. What it is, we got Chapter 11 of Zatch Bell 2 coming at ya, or Konjiki no Gash 2. Anyway, so we have, the pickup right where we left off with Levy versus, oh my god, Folgore and Kanchome, with Nose Hair Boo at the helm of Levy's body, because they kind of did that fusion thing that they did beforehand as well. We can see Levy looks like this beast thing with cool little horns. And it's up to Folgore and Kanchome to take them out. Obviously, they're going to start off trying to take this guy out by hand. But Kanchome's spell doesn't really work that way and isn't really able to defend itself. And so we find out what the real power of Kanchome's skill is, and that is to have the two people he kind of corrupted into Kanchome doppelgangers. He can control them somewhat. And so he uses them to take out and defend against Levy, which ends up being super useful. But each time, Kanchome wants to use a move, Folgore has to put more and more energy into the book and transfer it over to Kanchome. So that's kind of what the whole battle is. We get some pretty cool skills and moves from Levy. They use a lot of snake attacks for the most part. Faisu Sanga, I guess is what it's called. And meanwhile, they'll also have Nose Hair Boo being attacked by Gozer. And, they swap around back and forth all over the place. But you also can see that, whatever language he's speaking is not demon language. At least it doesn't seem like it. So it's something else for sure. But he knows that it's not a brainwashing technique. So he obviously has some mind control knowledge. Nose Hair Boo does anyways. But Kanchome's they're right, or Folgore's even thinking about it too. He's like, yeah, they're different from Dima Buruku, where it was like a bunch of different clones of Kanchome that each did their own thing. That was a pretty fun spell. But it's like these ones are able to kind of follow exactly what Kanchome wants. They kind of show it later, but it looks like Nose Hair Bo is controlling Levy with his fingers, his hands, okay? But it shows Kanchome, and he's also controlling, these two, Gozer and Hyosa, I think his name is, and with his hand as well. And when they're doing they Kankuro, Kankuro versus Sasori or something like that. It's a puppet master battle. And he's like, there's no way you can control two bodies with one brain. And literally Kanchome is just one big head. So all he's got in there is a brain at this point. And so Kanchome's like, don't you know, I have a special kind of brain. And I'm like, man, you are literally all brain right now, Kanchome. That's probably why you're this Kirby shape. So you can not only eat people, but also so you can kind of control and mentally manipulate these people's movements and be able to process all that. I mean, I'm just probably headcanon it. Get it? Haha, head. But who really knows? But yeah, then it also is kind of revealed to us that they don't want to attack their master Levy, so they're kind of stop right now. Levy, I love you. And then they revert from the Kanchome face, and they're crying as they're reverting. And Kanchome is like, look, I can control them, but I'm not going to force them to do what they really don't want to do, because that's rude. And, I can tell that they're your family, and family means everything to you. And so he's like, damn, looks like you win. Now I'll die. And whoa, big twist. Nose Hair Boo actually, he dies because he used his hair as the talisman. So I guess whatever they use as a talisman is who dies. So that's a new little piece of information there, which is nice to know. He's like, make sure you spend the rest of your years that I'm giving you with your family. Don't waste them like I wasted them. But then what happens? Everything's all said and done. Everyone's happy except for Nose Hair Boo. He's dead, and he was a great character. Gozer and Hyros, they go up to Gozer gives Levy a little kiss, with his tongue out. But then he gets shot in the shoulder, and I'm like, holy shit, who just shot this guy? And it's the stupid police, the Italian police. And I'm like, man, come on, who cares about the Italian police? And Levy's like, oh my god, there's monsters in the human world. This is not right. And I'm like, okay, first of all, it's this 30-foot tall werewolf. So it's I know it went straight through Gozer's shoulder somehow, But really? That's going to do him in? No, I doubt it. I mean, there's no way Gozer's even, like, mortally wounded. And they show Gozer still, like, alive. It's not, like, hinted that he's dead or anything like that. But it's like, come on. That's, like, the fleshiest of flesh wounds for Gozer. That's got to be no big deal. Then we see a Rashir, though, show up as, like, the Italian police just unload on them. Literally, all they say is, "Don't shoot, they're kids." And Levy goes, "Wow, I can't believe there are monsters like you in this world." Then they just unload. It's like, no, freeze, you're under arrest. No, put your hands in there. Just, nah, fuck it. The Italian police don't mess around. Like the goddamn mafia. And then what else even happens? Rashirdo comes up, and you can see that Kyo's still using his little like field goal technique that he does to like tell Zatch where to put Rashirdo. And then they launch it up to the sky so it doesn't hurt anybody. Which is cool that they can, manipulate Rashirdo like that. And then, Gash and Kyo are like, they see Kanchome crying. He cries. Oh, my buddies. So, that's nice, I suppose. But this is a pretty okay chapter of Zatch Bell. We got a lot of action in it, but not a lot of plot development. I think that was my main complaint with the last one. We got a lot of action, but not a lot of plot development. And, I mean, it's going to probably continue, to this point. I have a feeling it's probably going to start to swap over to plot development now, which is good. Because kind of the whole time I'm like still kind of trying to figure out what's going on with this series. Who's the main villain? It's like driving me nuts. That's probably the point. That's probably why they're doing this. So that way I keep reading. Be like, man, Manga Boy is our main target audience. He wants to know who the villain is. We can't tell him at this volume, or chapter 11. I mean, really, it's only 11 chapters, and he's going to stop reading the second he knows. So we got to string him along. I'm never gonna stop reading Zatch Bell 2, but that's my fan fiction. Raiko cares so much about what I think that he's putting me on this big string. Okay, it's like the old cartoons that got the meat on a fishing pole and the dog chasing them. That's me right now. The dog chasing the fishing pole with the meat on it. I'm gonna get the meat. Yeah. So I really like that this fight kind of wrapped up, and I was really hoping that Kanchome's power would be a little bit cooler other than puppeteering, but whatever. It shows Kanchome's smart, which we already know Kanchome's smart. He's an idiot, but he's also really smart. He uses his spells in such crafty in ways that are like really slick and sly that most people would think his powers suck. But because Kanchome is so smart, he's able to kind of devise these little strategies with them. So we do already know that he's a smart guy, but it's nice that we have that kind of further confirmed, I guess, that he's still smart. And he doesn't give up and get as afraid as he used to. He does, do these like little mini freakouts where he's like, "Oh, I'm done. I can't stand a chance." And he's like, "Wait a minute, I got this." I like to play with my eyebrows when I'm talking about Kanchome because he's got like these big little mini caterpillars that are like fluffy but like small these days. I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, that is my opinions and thoughts and a quick review over Gash Bell, Chapter 11, Volume 2. It's still a good read, this series. If you guys like Zatch Bell 1, there's no reason to not be reading Zatch Bell 2. It kind of continues the goodness that is Zatch Bell, and I really enjoy every bit that I read it pretty much every week. The only every month. The only time I don't really like to read it is when there's not one that month. The only other time I don't really like to read it is when I've got like too many videos coming out. Then I'm like, oh man, that's too much work. But what can you do? Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time for another Zatch Bell Chapter 12. Bye-bye.